Today we're going to be talking about learning styles and in particular at the end of the presentation how those learning styles can relate to your major exploration and your choice of major. So everyone is different when it comes to learning and how they prefer to learn. There's many different types of learning styles, and today we're going to focus on a particular system called the VAC system. And really, what, what we want to get across as the objective for today's lesson is that you probably have a primary learning style, the style which you prefer to use the most when you're learning. But that's not always going to be the style that associates with how your instructors may teach. So we're going to talk about how to figure out what your dominant learning style is, but also how you can develop those other learning styles that may not be so dominant in your life. So, like I mentioned, we're going to be discussing today primarily the VAC system of learning styles. And VAC stands for visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So what we're going to do quickly is just watch a video on finding out what your preferred learning style is. And this activity, this video is an activity, and it's going to require that you have a piece of paper and a pencil. So you might want to get that out now.
First, draw a 2-inch by 2-inch square. On the lower right corner of the square, draw a 1-inch circle. From the top left corner of the square, draw a 3-line intersection with the lower right corner of the square.
Okay, so after that exercise, the point of the exercise was so that you could kind of get a better feel for what style of learning you probably use as your dominant style of learning. So if it was easiest for you to draw the image when you saw a picture of it, then you're most likely a visual learner, and visual learning is your dominant learning style. If you preferred it when the voice told you what to draw, then most likely your dominant learning style is auditory, so you like to hear instructions, and so on and so forth. So now that you know what your dominant learning style is, uh, what you want to recognize is that not every instructor is always going to lecture or to teach in a way which works with your dominant learning style. So what I want to talk about is the different ways that you can enhance each of these learning styles. But first, now that you know what your dominant style probably is based on the activity, let's watch another video to find out what the primary differences between these three different styles are.
How do you prefer seeing, listening, touching, or doing? There are three modalities of learning: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Some learn lean with one of these. A visual learner prefers to learn by seeing and is attracted to the very
Okay. So like was mentioned in the video, your instructor's teaching preference might not always match your learning preference. And your learning preferences might not always be the same as you continue your educational career. So let's talk about some ways that you can develop all of the three different VAC learning modalities. So a student who may not be a visual learner can help to develop their visual learning skills by doing many different things. So some of the best options to enhance your visual learning is to do things like preview reading assignments by looking for elements that are highlighted visually. So look for things like bold headlines, charts and graphs, illustrations, photographs, anything to anything to spark your visual senses. When you're taking notes in class, be sure to leave plenty of room to add your own charts, diagrams, tables, and other visuals later on. When an instructor writes information on a blackboard or overhead display, copy it exactly in your notes. And then you can transfer your handwritten notes to your computer. So if you use a word processing software, it allows you to format your notes in lists, and you can add headings in different fonts and create different visuals in color in your actual notes. Before you begin an exam, you could quickly sketch a diagram on scratch paper and use the diagram to summarize key formulas, facts, anything you want to remember. And then during tests, see whether you can visualize pages from your notes or images from your computer-based notes to help you while you're taking an exam. So to develop auditory learning, students can really reinforce the memory of the notes and readings by talking about them. So when you're studying, stop often and recite the key points and examples in your own words. After reciting several summaries of key points and examples, record your favorite version or write it out. And be sure to read difficult passages in your textbook slowly and out loud. Another thing you can do is join study groups and create short presentations about course topics. And you can also visit your instructors during office hours to ask questions, as that may help students to develop better hearing and listening skills. And to develop and enhance your kinesthetic learning, you can look for ways to translate course content into three-dimensional models or other things that you can build. So, for example, while studying biology, you could create a model of a human cell using different colors of clay. You could also supplement lectures with trips to museums, field observations, lab sessions, tutorials, other hands-on activities. You can also recite key concepts from your courses while you walk or exercise, or you can intentionally set up situations in which you can learn by trial and error. Or you could also create a practice test and write out the answers in the room where you'll actually take the exam. So you just, as a student, want to pay attention to what your teacher's instruction style is, know what your learning style is, and then be able to adjust. So you may have to shift your preferred learning styles to fit with what your instructor's preferred teaching style is. And hopefully now that you've identified your dominant learning style, you can find some ways to develop those not so dominant modalities as well. So your learning style can have an impact on the major that you have selected. But one thing to keep in mind is that your modalities don't have to determine your success in a major. So as you prepare to declare a major or as you confirm your choice in a major, just be sure to remain flexible. You want to use your knowledge of the different learning styles to open up possibilities rather than restrict them. So remember that regardless of your mode, you can excel at any job or in any major. It just may mean that you have to develop new skills in other modes. So how do you select a major? Some of you selected a major the majority of you selected a major when you applied for admissions. But it is always possible to change your major, and in fact, the research shows that most students do end up changing their major an average of 4 times throughout their college career. So, what are some things that you should kind of keep in mind when you are choosing a major? Well, the first thing that you want to do is make sure you follow the fun. So you want to sit down and think about, what do you enjoy doing most with your unscheduled time. Imagine different problems that you enjoy solving, and what are the interests that you have in your everyday life. What does an ideal day look like for you? Where do you want to live? Who do you want to be with? What do you want to do throughout the days? So you want to remember that your major should be something that's fun to you, because most likely your major is going to lead to a career, and you want to be satisfied and happy in your career. So follow the fun. Do the things that you're interested in. Another thing you can do when selecting your major is consider your abilities. So in addition to considering what you enjoy, think about times and places when you excelled. So what are the courses that you've aced? What are the assignments that you've mastered? What are the hobbies that have led you to rewards and recognition? You want to let your choice of a major reflect a discovery of your passions and your potentials. You want to also make sure that your major selection links to some type of long-term goal. So your choice of major can fall into place once you determine what you actually want in life. So before you choose a major, back up to a bigger picture. Like, do something like listing your core values, things like contributing to society, achieving financial security and professional recognition, enjoying good health, making time for fun. Uh, and then consider how that applies to the goals that you want to accomplish in 5 years, 10 years, or even 50 years. So many students often find that the prospect of getting what they want in life justifies all of the time, money, and day-to-day effort that they invest in going to school. And having a major gives you powerful incentive for attending classes, taking part in discussions, reading textbooks, writing papers, doing other assignments. So when you see a clear connection between finishing school and creating the life of your dreams, some of these daily tasks of higher education become a lot more meaningful. Students can ask other people. Key people in your life might have valuable suggestions about your choice of major. So ask the people that mean the most to you for their ideas and listen with an open mind. At the same time, you also want to distance yourself from any pressure to choose a major or career that fails to interest you. So if you make a choice based solely on the expectations of other people, you could end up with a major, even career, that you don't enjoy. And for that, see rule number 1 about major selection. Something else that students can do when considering a major is consider adding a complementary minor. So you can add flexibility to your academic program by choosing a minor that complements or contrasts with your major. So for instance, a student who wants to be a veterinarian could opt for a major in veterinary science, but they could also choose to minor in agribusiness, economics, and management, because they know that one day they'll be running their own practice and will need to have business skills to go along with that. Oftentimes, an effective choice of a minor can help expand your skills and your career options. Something else that students want to do when considering a major is to make sure that they think critically about the link between a major and a career. So your career goals might have a significant impact on your choice of major. You might be able to pursue a rewarding career by choosing among several different majors. So even students planning to apply for law school or medical school have flexibility in their choice of majors. Also, after graduation, many people are employed in jobs with little relationship to their major. Take me, for example. My major was animal sciences, and now I work in higher education. But just know that your major won't always dictate a specific career, you kind of have to think critically about the skills that a major gives you and what kind of opportunities are available there. We might not think that animal science has very much to do with education, but in fact, I can find a lot of similarities. You learn a lot about management, you learn about how industry works, and those are all things that I do every day in my job in education. Now, final thing that you can do when looking into major exploration is to gather information. So check a school's catalog, check the website for a listing of available majors. There's a gold mine of information out there, and a lot of students don't know that it's out there. I know when students apply for admissions, oftentimes they choose a major because it's something that looks familiar. It's a topic that they recognize. And you may not realize until you actually start taking classes or start finding out information on career opportunities that certain majors exist or the opportunities that certain majors present. So gather information. So besides the catalog, which we talked about last week, the U of A offers a really awesome website called the Degree Search website, and it can be a really amazing tool to help students in major exploration. So I'm actually going to go to the website now, and the direct link is degreesearch.arizona.edu. And Degree Search is really a site to help students discover all of the possibilities that do exist at the U of A. When you go to the main page, it allows you to narrow your search results. So it enables you to look by college, alphabetically. It allows you to choose your preferred second language level and mathematics level. So you can change it from general to moderate to substantial. You can change the language from none to 2 semesters to 4 semesters. It allows you to choose by self-descriptors. So if you're an artistic person and you want to find an artistic major, it also allows you to look by topics that you might like. So maybe you are looking for a health-related profession. You can select that, and it will bring up the results that are related to that. So right now it's bringing up the health-related majors that have a second semester language requirement and a moderate math requirement, and you can see that there's 5 that meet that requirement. Well, what you can do when you've narrowed down the results is you can see the details of all of these majors. It will give you information on what the major entails, and you can also view the full details, and it will allow you to see things like a 4-year plan, so you can look and see the type of courses that the major requires. You can look at transfer course equivalents, so if you wanted to take coursework at a community college to satisfy degree requirements, you could see the options there. And it also allows you to look at things like career planning, so you can see potential career areas and sample employers and even sample job titles with the salary range. So this can really help you get a better idea for the different majors that the U of A offers and the potential career areas that those majors can prepare you for. Something else that's really neat that the Degree Search website allows you to do is save degrees and compare them. So if we choose a few different degree programs and we indicate that we want to save them, you can see over here in the left-hand column, it saves the degrees, and you can actually click the Compare Now button to compare the different requirements and the different career options. So right now we're looking at the differences between agriculture, technology, management, and education, and animal sciences. And we can see they're both in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Neither requires a pre-major. They both have moderate math level and 2 semesters of second language required. It gives you the course description for both and will give you information on some of the career planning things, so differences between average salaries and potential career areas and sample employers. So this is a really great way to kind of get a visual picture for all of you visual learners of the differences between different degree programs. So I hope you can reflect on the different types of learning styles that exist and how you can develop all of the three types of learning modalities, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, to not only be successful in coursework, but to also aid in helping you choose a major that will get you a career that you want. So be sure you come back to the Degree Search website to visit, and you'll need to use this to complete your second assignment. So get yourself familiar with it and enjoy the rest of your week.